Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn something super important, something that affects workers, buyers, factories, and even the environment. The chapter is called Law and Social Justice. In this lesson, we will understand how laws protect people, stop unfair practices, and ensure safety in society. Now let's start with a story. Because every good lesson begins with one. Imagine the shirt you are wearing today. Did you ever think about how it reached you? A shirt travels through a chain. Cotton farmers, weavers, garment workers, shopkeepers, buyers. But here's the truth. At many steps, people are treated unfairly, paid less, or forced to work in unsafe places. So now the big question is, why do we need laws in markets and workplaces? Let's understand that next. Social justice means something very simple. Right arrow fairness and dignity for everyone. It means no one should be treated badly just because they are poor or weak. Laws help protect people from unfair practices and reduce exploitation of workers, consumers, producers. Now you may ask, how do markets become unfair in the first place? Let's find out. Markets become unfair when companies focus only on one thing: maximum profit. To cut costs, they may pay very low wages, ignore safety rules, employ children, pollute the environment. So markets do not become unfair by magic. They become unfair because of wrong choices. That's why laws are needed. So let's begin with one important law: minimum wages. One of the most important protections for workers is the minimum wages law. It says, right arrow, it is illegal to pay workers less than the minimum wage. These wages are revised after a few years. This law mainly protects workers who cannot fight back or negotiate, especially poor workers. But is this law only for workers? Not really. Let's see who all laws protect in markets. Laws protect three groups. 1. Workers, fair wages, safe conditions, no child labor. 2. Consumers, safe and good quality products. 3. Producers, fair trade practices and protection from exploitation. So laws are like a safety shield for everyone. Now let's see some real examples of important laws. Here are some examples of laws that protect society. A Minimum Wages Act stops underpayment. A Workplace Safety Laws, emergency exits, safe machines. A Quality Standards Laws, food, medicines, electrical goods must be safe. A Essential Goods Price Laws controls prices of sugar, kerosene, food grains. A Anti-pollution laws, factories must not pollute air and water. A Child labor laws. Children below 14 cannot work. A workers' unions, workers can organize and demand rights. But there is a problem: just making laws is not enough. Why? Let's understand. Laws written in books do not help unless they are followed. So laws must be heavy checkmark implemented, heavy checkmark enforced. Enforcement becomes very important when the weak need protection from the strong. The government must inspect work sites and punish violators. Now, where do these laws come from? Most of them come from our Constitution. Let's connect this with fundamental rights. Many laws are based on the Indian Constitution. For example, a right against exploitation, no forced labor or very low wages. A right to life, Article 21, includes safety, health, and a healthy environment. A child rights, no child below 14 in factories, mines, or hazardous work. So these are not just rules, these are rights given to every citizen. Now let's focus on one serious issue connected to exploitation: child labor. Child labor is not just a word, it is a real problem. According to the 2011 census, over 4 million children 5 to 14 years were working. Then in 2016, the law became stricter. A children below 14 banned in all occupations. Adolescents 14 to 18 banned in hazardous work. It became a cognizable offense. Punishment can be jail and fine. Also, the government launched the Pencil Portal, 2017, for complaint filing and tracking. Now let's move to the most shocking case in this chapter: Bhopal gas tragedy. In 1984, India faced the world's worst industrial disaster. A pesticide factory of Union Carbide leaked mic gas on December 2, 1984. Within 3 days, more than 8,000 people died, and many became disabled. Even survivors suffered lifelong respiratory, eye, and other disorders. This tragedy shows what happens when safety is ignored. But you know what? It was not just an accident. Let's see why. This disaster happened because safety was ignored to cut costs. Safety measures were deliberately ignored. Safety devices were malfunctioning. Workers were reduced. Safety training was cut from 6 months to just 15 days. There was no proper emergency evacuation plan. So it wasn't bad luck, it was negligence. Now the next question is, did the victims get justice after Bhopal? After the tragedy, Union Carbide refused to accept responsibility. The government filed a case for $3 billion, 1985, but later accepted only $470 million, 1989. Even today, survivors still fight for clean drinking water, health care, jobs, a punishment of those responsible. Also, toxic waste contaminated soil and groundwater. So justice was slow and incomplete. Now, what was the biggest failure here? Enforcement. Let's see. This slide shows the most important point. The government is both the lawmaker and the enforcer. In Bhopal, safety laws were weak. Laws were not enforced. Officials allowed a dangerous plant in a populated area. Inspectors approved procedures even after repeated leaks. Result: people's safety was ignored by both the government and the company. This disaster forced India to think seriously about the environment too. Let's move ahead. Before 1984, the environment was treated like a free entity, like it belongs to nobody. Industries could pollute air and water with very few restrictions. But after Bhopal, new environmental laws were introduced. Polluters were held accountable for damage. Courts supported the right to a healthy environment under Article 21. So Bhopal became a turning point for environmental protection. But there is one more important idea. Environment is a public facility. What does that mean? A clean environment benefits everyone. Not just today but across generations. But sometimes actions like closing polluting factories can affect workers' livelihoods. So the challenge is, right arrow, how can we protect both people and the environment? Ways forward include a cleaner technologies, a government support, a strict fines for polluters. So the goal is balance, development with safety. Now let's quickly revise what we learned. So today we understood a powerful message. Laws are needed to stop unfair practices in markets and workplaces. A government must make laws, enforce them and uphold them. Weak laws and poor enforcement can cause disasters like Bhopal. People can pressure the government and companies for social justice. A worker's rights in a healthy environment are part of the right to life. So laws are not just rules, they are protection. Now before you leave, let's do a quick check. Before the class ends, please write the answers to these 3 questions in the comment box. 1. Why is the Minimum Wages Act important? 2. What went wrong in the Bhopal factory? Any 2 points. 3. How is a clean environment linked to Article 21? These questions will help you revise the most important points from today's lesson. Great job everyone, that's it for now. Thank you.